Hi guys, it's Jennibellie. Today I am excited, and you know when I'm excited it's a good tutorial. We are going to make these bejeweled baubles. And you could be forgiven for thinking these are just baubles that I've brought and then covered in gemstones, but only if you don't know me very well. Because of course these are made from scratch, and I'm going to show you now how to do them. Enjoy! Okay, so here is what I have received, just buying some Christmas presents this year. Lots of tissue paper, lots of plastic packaging and bubble wrap. These envelopes that are just pure plastic now, which is very difficult to recycle. And obviously lots of cardboard packaging as well. So what I've decided to do, because we all know things I can make with cardboard, I decided to tackle the plastic and the bubble wrap and things, and this is what our base of our baubles is actually going to be. So what you need to do first is grab some sellotape and your bubble wrap plastic / whatever you've been getting, and just scrunch it up and start sticking it together with sellotape as tightly as you can get it. And then just, you can use bigger pieces of plastic if you want, and just use the little ones and build them up. And you take down the edges here by putting it down, holding your thumb and pulling it tightly to make a curve. That's how you get rid of the points. It's impossible to eradicate all of the points entirely, but what I would say here is what I always say when we're making things is don't scrape on glue. You know I'm very economical with my actual materials and how I use things, but with glue I think it is important, with this glue and the glue we're going to use later on, to really use a good generous amount of it, because you want these things to last year after year after year that you bring them out. You don't want them to fall apart, because what is the point of making use of these materials rather than putting them in the landfill if they're just going to end up in the landfill anyway, because you've not used them, you've not made them well enough to stand being used. So always lots of sellotape and glue on this project. So you get the idea, you build up your balls like this until they're a size that you would like them. Once you have made your balls with plenty of sellotape, get some kind of whatever it might be. I'm using some ropey stuff that was from a parcel, I think, and again stick these down with sellotape. Okay, so once you've finished attaching what it'll hang by, you need to reinforce your bauble. So now I'm going to take the tissue paper from the packaging, and this is about 2/3 PVA glue to 1/3 water, and it doesn't like the sellotape obviously, but it does stay, so you want to just put a little bit on, stick your tissue paper down and then carry on. And then once you've stuck your first layer of tissue paper down, it's absolutely fine with it. So just keep building on that. I overlap it quite a lot. I make sure that the bauble's sturdy. And then you hang it up somewhere to dry. Right, okay, so once it's dried, we have our bauble to decorate, and now is the really fun part. How I decorate them is I'm actually quite economical with what I put on my baubles, but looking at it, You wouldn't think that I've scrimped on this exactly, would you? So what I do is I pick out 1 or 2 really nice pieces to use in my baubles, and then the rest of it is kind of beads from jewellery. So this flat disc here is a bead, and there were loads of that came off of a piece of jewellery, and it really uses up the surface quite well, so it's quite large really to use up quite a large amount of surface. These here were from this horrible piece of jewellery here that's really like quite tacky glitz piece of jewellery. I also put in some Swarovski crystals, which I might put in the next one as well, off of a broken necklace, one of my favourite necklaces, and they're really nice Swarovski crystals. So I was a little bit extravagant with this one, but then the rest of it is just like charms, cheap beads, some gemstones. This here is the glass bead that had broken in half, and it had broken in half in a way that I put one piece down, and then somewhere else here is the other half of the glass bead. All kinds of stuff in here. This is a bead, this is a key charm, this is just a leaf and a butterfly piece of jewellery. So they're all really, you wouldn't think I'd scrimped on this to create this bauble, but in a way I really had. So here's what I do. First of all is I take some pieces of jewellery like this, and I'm thinking I'll do a little bit of a blue theme. So I've got some larger pieces of jewellery here, like these shells. And off of these earrings here, I'm pulling apart these little hearts to use on them. I have another little key charm. I have this earring here, which I will take the back off of. This earring here has these quite nice shaped cabochons that are set, or faceted plastic that are set. Another butterfly off of a piece of jewellery. I have this really nice fairy off of a pair of earrings that a friend gave me, and I lost the other half. So it's a really nice way to keep the memory of this and locked in a bauble to bring out every Christmas off of something that I can't use anymore because I've only got one. Or I could make it into another piece of jewellery or something, but I like the idea of it going on here. And this necklace, which has these really pretty little flowers. I'm going to take off the flowers and put the flowers on there. Likewise, I might use some more pieces out of this. I have started cutting apart this £1 bracelet that I had from years and years and years ago. Don't wear it anymore, so I'm going to make using those blue pieces. And then what I do with the rest of it to really bulk out my few pieces of nice jewellery is I use little pearls, these like iridescent seed beads, some different coloured pearls, some more different iridescent seed beads, pearls, gemstones, pearls, some other kinds of pearls. And then in here I have these rosebuds, which look, again, just to add a few every now and then, I think really breaks up the bauble. Some flat pearls and some silver flat pearls. Okay, so I am going to get on breaking the rest of these down to use them on our baubles. I've also found this little white kind of kit with a few of these long seed beads in, which would be quite useful. And these metal studs might be quite useful to give a bit more pop of blue if I want more blue. I might not end up using all of these. You kind of, as you go along, decide what you like together. Okay, so I've got a nice-ish selection of things around me to use. Now I'm thinking this piece here is too big to be able to go anywhere on the actual bauble, because what you need obviously is something that is going to sit flush to the round spherical shape of your bauble. So you can't have anything that's too flat or large. Something like this is fine, because what you can do is bend it at will, like these this butterfly as well, you can kind of manipulate the shape of it a little bit, but whereas a shell you can't. So a size like this might be fine because I'll be able to find somewhere that it will sit flush. Some areas it won't be able to, like that point there, obviously it won't sit flush, but another area like that there it might. So it's all about playing as you're going through and finding out which pieces are going to work on your bauble and which aren't. So what I use, my usual supply, is a bit of Eileen's Tacky Glue, and I don't start anywhere particular. And I just load up an area, and I go for it. And this is a time-consuming process, I'm not going to lie, but it is a very relaxing craft to do. See how they move when I'm trying to, what I was trying to do is fill that little space in between these two gemstones. You see there's a little space there, and I was trying to fit this little bead in between them, and it needs to do that, it needs to stand up. There we go. So sometimes they can be a bit of a bugger, I'm gonna tell you now, but it is a really rewarding process. Okay, seeing as I have all of these left and this whole bracelet, I'm going to make up this one, but make it with more bluey, with try and use up all of this bracelet and more of the blue things on here. That's how we make our baubles. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Merry Christmas everybody.